And with this in mind, I followed the mob through the town of Salzwedel on a rampage, not of looting, but of destruction, and hammered and chopped everything up in every house, not taking away a single item. I didn't have any clothes. I wore nothing underneath my one prison dress, and there was everything to be had, but I simply was not interested. All I wanted to do is destroy everything in my wake and use my dagger in the first German, because purely to avenge my friends that I have seen die during the death march or the post-Auschwitz period more than anything else. This was so intense, and having got into a house, the place looked deserted. Of course, the population realized that there was a small concentration camp outside and they had disappeared. But we ran into one house which appeared empty, ran into the basement where you could hear sound of voices, children crying, and there was a group of people, and children were huddled in a corner. There was a woman, and I think there was a man, and a mob of people, and we all rushed into this basement, and I had this dagger, and everybody said, now come on, you know, here they are, you're going to kill them now. And suddenly there I was, and so I found I couldn't actually throw this dagger. And in this split second, it came to me that, well, if I was going to use this dagger, well, then most certainly the Germans have succeeded in influencing me, and I'm no better than they are if I was going to use this dagger in exactly the same way as someone may have used on me. And I saw this group of people in the corner thinking that, well, perhaps they are innocent, and I was in the same sort of situation not so long ago, huddled in a corner, frightened, and there was all this mob screaming behind me, you know, we'll throw it. And so eventually I threw it, and it hit a door, and I threw it the other way, and I threw myself to the ground, and I found a tremendous sense of relief, because in this split second I suddenly realized, well, it changed me into a complete different person. It fizzled out, in fact, my desire for revenge in this split second.
(1946). After a year of working as interpreters in a displaced persons camp in North Germany, Kitty and her mother set out to create a new life for themselves in England. Of their old life in Poland, nothing remained. In Bielsko, every one of the large and prosperous Felix family had been exterminated. Karl Felix, Kitty's father, had been traced by the Gestapo, arrested and shot. Her brother Robert's attempt to reach England ended in Russia. He was killed fighting with the Red Army at Stalingrad. Kitty's mother would never see Poland again. Instead, she and Kitty, traveling with new papers that still recorded their Auschwitz numbers, came and settled in Birmingham. In 1947, Kitty took up radiography at Birmingham's Royal Orthopaedic Hospital. At the Polish Club, she met Ralph Hart, a Polish émigré who had arrived in England just before the war. In 1949, they were married. In the 50s, there were children, David and Peter. Kitty's mother lived with the family until her death in 1974. She had survived the years on the run and the years in Auschwitz. She had lost one family in Bielsko, but had lived long enough to see another grow up and take root in Birmingham.
My mother was the tower of strength behind me and encouraging me, as well as many young people, to go on. Youth was on my side when I was in Auschwitz. It was very much easier for the young people to manipulate the system than for the older people, because the older people, being more mature, thought more about the situations, whereas the young purely lived by animal instinct, and they didn't have to think. I think the younger a person is, the more cunning